Back in Aramon, the Tarosian invaders pressed forward, though the element of surprise was no longer on their side. Aramon had begun to fight back. The army of undead and demons began to see their first losses. Their leader, the ruthless Tsar Golan, rallies the restless army.
Deathmongers, Deathbringers, rise and offer black peace to the miserable breathers infesting this vile living land. Long live King Loken, Prince of the Dead. Tsar Golan, Field Commander, Host of Taros.
A town would need to be eradicated.
Huh. Wow. A village will have to be raised. Now, very blunt. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Let's Play Total Annihilation. I'm your host, Nerus, and this is Mission 5. And this is our first real Total Annihilation mission, and it's also our first mission as Taros. Now, while stuff happens, I'm going to briefly talk about the world of Darien. The world of Darien is broadly split up into 3 continents and 1 archipelago.
I'll be there.
The continents are... Sorry, I just got distracted there for a moment. Of the 3 major continents, the largest and most prosperous is Aramon, which is the continent we are on now. Aramon is rich and basically pseudo-medieval or stuff. Aramon is ruled by Elsin, the eldest of Garakias' sons, and the one with the power over Earth. Now, we are playing as Taros. Taros is ruled by the youngest son, named Loken. And Taros is marked by sorcery. Taros is kind of a wasteland, nasty place to live, but it's important to note that these undead are a new thing in Taros. It's not mentioned all that often, but as Loken has power over the element of fire, and you might be thinking that the element of fire isn't actually an element that has much to do with raising the dead. And you would be completely and totally correct. It does nothing to do with raising the dead. What it does have to do with, apparently, is sorcery. And until recently, Loken did not have access to undead. Upon getting access to undead, the first thing he did was immediately invade the shit out of Aramon, and I don't think that a whole lot will ever be said on the matter regarding like where he got that undead knowledge from. Maybe that was something that we were supposed to find out later, who knows. Anyway, so we are the forces of Taros, and we are going to raise a town. So we're setting up our base, we're building some dudes, and we're going to go wander down to this town, and we're going to kill all the dudes there. This is not a difficult mission, this does not take very long, it's just a nice little introduction to the basics of building a base and producing dudes in Total Annihilation Kingdoms. Now, those of you familiar with Total Annihilation will be able to tell pretty easily what's going on here. But for those of you who are new, let me explain. Scattered around the world of Darien are lodestones. They are little glowy magical stones surrounded by some standing stones, and they are sources of mana, magical energy, which as you can see is stored down here. In order to harvest the magic from the lodestones, you build lodestones. I know it's the same name, I have no idea. On top of the lodestones, and thus claim them as your own. And these lodestones are now producing mana for me, which you can see is down here as plus 54. And I'm using 56 mana to produce these executioners. And we'll go over the units of Taros in a moment, but just quickly, I want to point out the UI. Now, in Total Annihilation, if I moused over something like a metal extractor, it would tell me how much it was producing. You'll notice that there is none of that here. The makers of Kingdoms did not want the player to have access to any information at all. So we have the absolute bare minimum. What's a Dark Mason? I don't know. Do you know what a Dark Mason is? What's a Black Knight? What's an executioner? A zombie? A gargoyle? There's no information about these things, just a bland cost, and you might notice that the cost and the name down in the bottom right corner replaces how much mana you have. Anyway, this is excessive numbers of forces for this mission, but whatever. The units of Taros. We will see more of them of almost all of these later, except for this one, which we will start with. The zombie. Zombies are terrible. They are slow, and they are stupid, and they do no damage. Actually, that's a lie. They do a lot of damage, but they will never do it because they die ages before they get anywhere. Zombies exist pretty much to be killed when you're not playing as Taros. When you're playing as Taros, you will never build zombies. Don't do it. They're a waste of time and money. Maybe if you really wanted to, you could, like, build a couple just for a joke.
Right.
But they are basically the AKs of kingdoms.
Right.
The mainline infantry for Taros is the Executioner. Executioners are pretty great. They do not have the defense of other line infantry, but they make up for that by having gigantic fuck-off glaives that do huge amounts of damage. Executioners are pretty great. Tarosian Tier 1 ranged units are Black Knights. Dudes on... I think that's like cows? I want to say that's cows. They appear to be riding cows. And they're pretty great. They're excellent for raiding in multiplayer games. It's a really good idea to make a bunch of Black Knights and just send them at dudes. Have them roam around the map shooting at things. In theory, Black Knights can in fact fire at enemies whilst on the move, but in practice it doesn't really work very well, so don't bother. Oh hey, a horseman up there. Now, the unit I didn't build, which is the Gargoyle, we'll see later, but they're just not very useful here. Gargoyles are scouts. They're flying, weak, and unarmed. They can't do anything except look at stuff. But they are pretty good at looking at things, and they're pretty small and fairly fast. Very useful for scouting out the map. However, one thing Kingdoms really does love to do is put inactive AI units around the map, which activate when they come into vision. So be careful when you're scouting in the campaigns. Be very careful. Right. And those are all the units we have access to right now. We also have access to a building called a Caged Demon, which we'll probably see me build later, which is the basic defensive structure of Taros. It is a cage with a demon in it, and the demon spits fireballs at people. Like most of Taros, it's fairly fragile, but deals a lot of damage. Taros is all about the offense. Almost all Tarosian units have relatively fragile health, but extremely powerful offense. And we'll see more of that as we get access to the more advanced units. Kill some of these guys. Guessing there's probably like a structure over here I need to destroy. Right. Nope. Huh. Well, I take that back. Maybe I will build some gargoyles. I need to find out where I need to go. Make some gargoyles. Oh. I found a totem. One notably absent thing from Kingdoms also is the lack of victory gongs. So I'm pretty much just wandering around here, waiting for the victory screen to magically appear. to like kill every single fucking civilian or something? Well, here are gargoyles. Little small fly things. And gargoyles, you may note if you pay attention to the minimap, do in fact possess radar. Oh hey, wolves. Maybe I need to kill those wolves. Probably not. Oh, I better need to kill that lodestone though. There's an archer up there. I definitely need to kill that.
Yeah.
There we go. And that's mission 5 done. See you next time, ladies and gentlemen.